when I tell you that Gallagher's form is going to give Nkunku a lot of problems. A lot of problems. Guys, welcome to Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. This is Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. I'm grateful to have you here consistently. I'm grateful to have you here for the support. But yeah, guys, we want to debunk the myth. There's a lot to say. But essentially, Gallagher's return, Gallagher's form is going to be a big blow to Nkunku. So I've looked at the training pictures of Chelsea Football Club in the lead up to that game against Newcastle. There is no Nkunku, there is no Romeo Lavia. And the indication is simple. Chelsea have no plans to rush Nkunku and then Romeo Lavia. And it is for a simple reason. Because is the team not good? The team is good. If you play your first 6 games last season, and at the time you have an XG of 11.5 and an XG against of 6.3, and this season you've played your first game and your XG that you have is 18.8, first 6 games, 13.8 actually, and then you have an XG against of 8.8. But mind you, with the XG against, Chelsea played the only big side Chelsea played last season after the first 6 games was Liverpool in that horrendous 2-2 draw. Now, Chelsea played Liverpool, Chelsea played Arsenal, Chelsea played Manchester City, Chelsea played Tottenham Hotspur. Albeit 3 of them were at home, 1 of them away at the Olympic Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. So there is a lot of stuff going on, especially when people also say Enzo Fernandez is not good enough. We are going to delve into all of that. My name is Fiifi-Manfred. This is Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. If you've not subscribed to the channel, guys, you should. I mean, time is passing you by. Do it now. Subscribe to the channel. Let me hear from you in the comment section. Of course, do turn on notification and do choose all consistently. I want to hear from you. Debunking the myth of Chelsea season. That's far. Let's go. So guys, welcome back again. This is Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. This is Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. Subscribe to that channel if you've not, of course. Do turn on notification. I want to hear from you. So like I was saying, I don't see where problems are at Chelsea. Now, first of all, I think that Nkunku is going to get a hard time walking back into this Chelsea team. And I said it in the video before that Chelsea's season is going to be hinged. In fact, when everybody returns, it's going to be hinged game after game. So I discussed Gabriel Mascado in the video before this one. And a lot of people have said that, the pathway for Mascado into Chelsea is blocked because there are too many good CMs and DMs in the team. I agree. But I think that Mascado is just a different talent. He's a different beast as to what we have. So Enzo Fernandez is, Moise Caicedo is brilliant at what he does in terms of winning the ball back and whatnot and playing forward and being the first line in terms of reception and then progression and whatnot. He's excellent at that job. But sometimes you need a hybrid. Sometimes you need somebody that can do the progressive job, the carrying job, the box-to-box job. I think that when Lavia returns, the best formation for Chelsea is going to be a flat 4-3-3 with 2 box-to-box in Enzo Fernandez and Moises Caicedo, whilst Lavia will sit deep and then dictate the pace of the game, dictate the tempo of the game. He is excellent at that job. He knows how to do that job. So that's it. But off the top of my head, I look at the Chelsea team, I'm looking like, who is going to suffer? Because in preseason, when Chelsea had that 3-2-5 shape, where you had 3-2-5 in front, essentially the central area creator behind the striker was Nkunku. Nkunku has been injured for a very long time. Chelsea are in no rush to get a striker because they know that with Armando Broja, with his fully fit Nicolas Jackson. And funny enough, Nicolas Jackson has 6 non-penalty goals. He has 7 goals in total in just 9 starts in English Premier League. And he has 6 non-penalty goals. Mind you, last season, Kai Havertz was Chelsea's top scorer with 7 goals. And he has equaled it with even less non-penalty goals. And it tells you how much of a good season Chelsea are having. Again, I made mention to you the XG comparison between Chelsea's first 6 games last season and Chelsea's first 6 games this season. Putting into context the fact that Chelsea have played some of the big sides this season as it stands now. They played Liverpool, they played Arsenal, they played Tottenham Hotspur, and they played almighty Manchester City. So it is a comparison that is valid, especially given numbers. And I've told you that in this day and age, data and numbers is important. XG against Chelsea has been better, especially in the context of the teams that Chelsea have played. Now, you look at Nicolas Jackson's successes, and that's the reason why I said that I don't think Chelsea needs Victor Osimhen in January. Chelsea do not need Victor Osimhen in January. He is essentially not important to Chelsea and what Chelsea would do, even if it's about qualifying to the Champions League in January. Again, I don't think that Aurelio De Laurentiis would want to sell Victor Osimhen in January. It will take some time. So Armando Broja is getting to full fitness. He's almost there. In the last game against Manchester City, he did exactly what a striker would do, won the team a penalty. Nicolas Jackson is getting the numbers. He's racking it up now. He's playing brilliantly. Sterling is on fire. Nkunku is returning from injury. And I think that's where the problem is. That's where the problem is. Because Gallagher's off the ball job as a number 10, it's something that I've not seen before. So, you see, usually, you look at the age-old number 10s, Mesut Ozil, Cesc Fabregas. You look at Mesut Ozil, Fabregas, David Silva. There's another name that is skipping me, but essentially Mesut Ozil, David Silva. You look at Cesc Fabregas. You look at these guys who are like proper number 10s, who are doing the job in that regard. Now, one of their biggest downsides that a lot of people used to talk against them was the fact that, okay, that these guys were not hard workers. They just tried to dictate the pace of the game. They tried to create chances. Now, after creating those chances, they don't really work hard for the team. And it was the reason why Cesc Fabregas, for one, sat out in Antonio Conte's team for a very long time. He wasn't really playing for Antonio Conte because Antonio Conte felt that he wasn't good enough for him in terms of the off-the-ball job in his team. So at the time, Antonio Conte will not play Cesc Fabregas because of that. Mesut Ozil has his own issues with Mikel Arteta, and in his last days at Arsenal because of some of these things. And these days, you want your number 10 to be the leader of the press. And that's what Conor Gallagher brings to this team. He's essentially a relentless runner. He's a physical monster. And I've said consistently, I've never seen any midfielder rattle Rodri like the way Conor Gallagher did to him. Never in the number of years I've been watching the game have I seen anybody rattle Rodri like that. He was in his face. Not even Nicolo Barella was able to do that job. And Conor has gone to the camp of the Three Lions and he has been asked about when Chelsea were buying Moise Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez. He said yes, he was worried, but then he knew that he had to put in the job. So, essentially, what he gives Chelsea, I think, is in big games. In big games where you want to press very high, you want to be very aggressive on the number 6, you want to win the ball there, you want to rotate a lot and progress the ball forward. You need him, essentially, in games like that. And you just cannot do away with Conor Gallagher in those games. And I think that's going to limit the game time of Nkunku. So, Pochettino had mentioned that Nkunku wanted to return in that game against Newcastle. But obviously, he can't play against Newcastle now because he's not fully fit. But even for a game like Newcastle, where they are going to play in a 4-2-3-1, but the game will be hugely hinged on physicality. You want a Conor Gallagher instead of an Nkunku because you know that Conor will be in the phases of Shah, and then the Newcastle midfielders will be aggressive with Dan Burn and then Matthew. All the Newcastle boys in the middle of the pack. He will be very, very aggressive on Bruno Guimaraes in there. He'll be hard hitting of Sandro Tonali if he gets to play. He will make it tough for them to progress the ball. Now, for Nkunku, it is essentially the job that he does in front of the 18-yard box and number 10. So it means that Nkunku may want to have to push elsewhere, maybe as a main striker. Maybe if Sterling is not getting a good day, he plays from Sterling's wings. Mind you, Mauricio Pochettino likes his attacking control centrally, and that's why Cole Palmer will always come centrally. And I think that Chelsea has sorted on the right-hand side as long as Reece James stays fit. So Reece is consistently going to do the overlapping runs whilst Conor comes inside. When Conor comes inside, the job is to now break down the defenses. And in games, in bigger games, in smaller games where Chelsea will be playing against teams that sit in a low block, that's where you need an Nkunku. He's not a brilliant dribbler like that, but in between the lines, he's able to carry the ball, he's able to dictate the pace of the game, he's able to break the lines with balls in there, he's able to understand with respect to telepathy, player movement on and off the ball, and he is able to make a lot out of the least chances. I told you that one of the things that Chelsea would need in the box is a ball retainer in the box, somebody who is able to manipulate the ball, somebody who gets the ball and isn't looking at shooting. He wants to do the best thing out of the ball. That's the downside of Nicolas Jackson, and that's what Chelsea are looking for. An attacker they would want to look out for, and Nkunku gives that in them. So yes, I think so. And Conor Gallagher's form is really going to hurt Nkunku. It is going to hurt him with respect to the number of games that he gets to play at Chelsea Football Club and the successes that he chokes. But I'm also happy because it means that there is quality in depth, and depending it depends on the game that Chelsea will be playing, depending on the opponent that Chelsea will be facing. Now they have a lot of things in their arsenal, a lot of ammunition in their arsenal to pick and choose from. You play against a smaller side, you go to an Nkunku. You play against a team that's stretch. You say, okay, I want a 1v1 winger. You have a Noni Madueke. You want you play against a big team. You want to rotate and press them aggressively. Then you go in for Conor Gallagher. It's important for you to have these profiles across the field of play. So yeah, whilst these things are there, I think that the best is yet to come for Chelsea actually, and I can't wait for the international break to be over. My name is Fiifi-Manfred, guys. If you're not subscribed, do what subscribe. We want to hear from you too in the comment section. Bye for now.